We could have had a defense against asteroids 20 years ago if we quit wasting money on Israel. Oh well, I guess the Wailing Wall is more important than humanity.
One night in 2004, telescopes spotted a tiny dot moving across the sky. That dot was actually an asteroid named Apophis, and it seemed to be headed towards Earth. When seen even through our most powerful telescopes, Apophis shows up as nothing more than just a moving speck of light. But the latest data tell us that this asteroid may be as wide as 1,000 feet.
That's bigger than the Rose Bowl.
Now imagine that hunk of rock hurtling through space on a collision course with Earth. It sounds like something from the movies. Remember Deep Impact? Or Armageddon?
Rise and shine!
Where Bruce Willis saves the world? The movies were a little silly. Somehow all the flaming fragments in Armageddon had good aim and hit only famous buildings. But they were inspired by a basic and frightening truth about our solar system. It's easy to think of the solar system as a big, wide open playing field. The sun in the middle and just a few planets in orbit around it. But in fact, between the planets, it's filled with debris. Of all sizes, some as small as a pea, others as large as cars, houses, even mountains. We've been hit before by these things. And you know something else? We're going to get hit again. In space, they're just cold hunks of rock. But when they plunge into Earth's atmosphere at 30 or 40,000 miles an hour, their surface glows red hot. Small objects will burn up before hitting the ground. We call those shooting stars. But the bigger ones will keep on coming and explode on impact. If you know where to look, you can see the damage caused by past impacts all around us. Our moon is scarred with countless craters. Here on Earth, this mile-wide hole in the Arizona desert was blasted by an asteroid as big as an office building. And 65 million years ago, a rock the size of Mount Everest slammed into the Yucatan. That's the one that triggered the demise of the dinosaurs. Our long history of getting in the way of asteroids worries Apollo astronaut Rusty Schweickart.
I mean, an asteroid can literally destroy 80 or 90% of the species that are alive on Earth. These are big events. I mean, this is called extinction.
To guard against catastrophe, a team at NASA tracks asteroids, including that potentially lethal one, Apophis, named for an Egyptian god of darkness and evil.
It was clear that it was going to be a very close approach and fascinating object.
In late 2004, with just a few observations to go on, the team came up with a scary prediction.
Very often, they started 1 in a million, maybe even 1 in a billion. In this case, the maximum probability was about 1 in 37.
1 in 37 chance that in April of the year 2029, Apophis would slam into Earth on, get this, Friday the 13th.
Never seen anything like that before. That was absolutely extraordinary.
Extraordinary indeed, but not necessarily right. The NASA team has to continually revise its predictions.
It's much like predicting a hurricane. When it's first spotted, you don't know where it's going to hit. As you get more and more information on its track, you can predict where it's going to go.
It turned out that Friday the 13th, 2029, wouldn't be so unlucky after all. Apophis will not hit us that day. But the asteroid will come frighteningly close to Earth.
It's going to come 10 times closer to us than the moon is. So it's actually going to pass closer to us than the ring of satellites, communication satellites that are in synchronous altitude around the Earth.
Such a near miss means that Earth's gravity will dramatically alter the asteroid's orbit. Problem is, as its path bends, there's one small region of space we do not want Apophis to pass through. Chodas named it the keyhole.
If it should pass through that little keyhole, then it would be on a collision course at a later encounter. Now, if I advance it after 2029, you can see...
If the asteroid passes through the keyhole, then 7 years later, in 2036, Apophis will be headed right for us.
I'll zoom in on the Earth.
So what if that one possibility actually happened? What kind of damage could an asteroid the size of the Rose Bowl do?
If Apophis did impact, it would impact at around 7.5 miles per second. And all that energy has to go somewhere. It would leave a blast area of around 60 to 100 miles across. And it would dissipate energy about equal to 100 nuclear bombs going off at the same time.
An asteroid the size of Apophis, if it hit land, could devastate several counties in, say, Southern California. But if Apophis passes through the center of the keyhole, it will slam into the Pacific Ocean, nearly 1,000 miles off the California coast. And that could be a lot worse.